The heart of Karelia, a land of ancient forests and shimmering lakes, pulsed with an irresistible allure. The whispers of the wind through the pines, the sun-dappled trails, the promise of adventure. These drew us in, four friends seeking solace in the embrace of the wild. We craved the escape, the camaraderie, the thrill of the unknown. Little did we know, the unknown craved us too. We were city dwellers, our souls yearning for the untamed beauty of nature. There was Sergei, the pragmatic one, always prepared. Irina, our artist, saw beauty in every leaf and rock. Dmitri, the joker, kept our spirits high. And me, Alexei, the writer, eager to capture our adventure in words. Together, we were an inseparable force, or so we thought. Our journey began on a crisp morning, the air alive with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. We loaded our backpacks, heavy with supplies and anticipation, into the kayaks. With each stroke of the paddle, the city faded further into the distance, replaced by the symphony of the wilderness. The river was our guide, its waters a mirror reflecting the ever-changing sky. We paddled through sun-drenched stretches, the water sparkling like 1,000 diamonds. The forest pressed close on either side, a living tapestry of emerald green and deep brown. Laughter echoed across the water, a testament to our joy and the bond we shared. We were invincible, or so we believed, as the river carried us deeper into the heart of Karelia. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the water, the mood shifted. The forest, once welcoming, took on a more sinister air. The whispers of the wind now seemed like warnings, the rustling of leaves like furtive footsteps. We passed weathered wooden signs, their Cyrillic lettering barely visible, pointing towards trails that disappeared into the deepening gloom. Around the crackling campfire that night, under a sky ablaze with stars, Dmitri brought up the local legends. He spoke of the Moonlit Gorge, a place shunned by locals, where a malevolent entity was said to reside. A chill ran down my spine as he described the creature, grotesque, powerful, driven by an insatiable hunger. Sergei dismissed it as folklore, but Irina, her eyes wide, pointed out the fear in Dmitri's usually jovial voice. I tried to laugh it off, but the darkness seemed to press closer, and the shadows from the fire danced like phantoms. The next day, despite our unease, we found ourselves drawn towards the Moonlit Gorge. It was as if the legend itself was pulling us in, whispering promises of adventure and danger. The river narrowed, the current growing swifter as we approached. The air grew heavy, the silence broken only by the gurgling of the water and the frantic beating of our hearts. The gorge lived up to its name. Towering cliffs, cloaked in shadow, rose up on either side, their rocky faces twisted into menacing shapes. The water, black as ink, churned angrily below. The sunlight barely penetrated the oppressive gloom. We should have turned back. Our instincts screamed at us to retreat. Yet, we pressed on, our curiosity a dangerous current pulling us towards the unknown. We made camp on a narrow bank, the ground cold and unwelcoming. Gone was the carefree laughter of the previous night. Even Dmitri's jokes sounded forced, his eyes darting nervously towards the dark maw of the gorge. The silence was broken only by the crackling of the fire and the distant howl of a wolf, a mournful sound that sent shivers down our spines. That night, sleep came in fitful bursts, haunted by nightmares of unseen creatures and suffocating darkness. Each time I closed my eyes, I saw the shadowy depths of the gorge, felt the weight of unseen eyes upon us. Even Grom, Sergei's normally fearless husky, whimpered and trembled, his fur on end. Something was out there, watching us. We all felt it. A primal fear had gripped our hearts, icy and inescapable. Section 6. Terror in the Night. A blood-curdling scream ripped through the silence. I sat, bolt upright, heart pounding, as Irina's shriek pierced the night. The fire had dwindled to embers, casting grotesque shadows that danced in the darkness. I fumbled for my flashlight, its beam slicing through the gloom to reveal a scene of chaos. Grom snarled and lunged towards the edge of the forest, teeth bared, a low growl rumbling in his chest. "What is it, boy?" Sergei's voice was tight with fear. Before any of us could react, a monstrous shape erupted from the trees. It was a grotesque parody of a wolf, towering over Grom, its eyes glowing with an eerie, malevolent light. Its fur was matted and tangled, its limbs grotesquely elongated, and its fangs, bared in a silent snarl, glinted like shards of ice. Section 7. Ghastly Revelation. Terror, raw and primal, seized us. We scrambled back, our screams lost in the night as the creature lunged. Grom, brave to the end, met the beast head-on, his valiant growl turning into a yelp of pain as the creature's jaws clamped down. The scene was a blur of thrashing limbs and snapping teeth, the air thick with the metallic scent of blood. Then, as quickly as it began, it was over. The creature, Grom still clutched in its jaws, melted back into the darkness, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread and the echo of our own terror. We were paralyzed, our minds struggling to comprehend the horror we had just witnessed. The legend was real, and it had taken our friend. Section 8. Flight into the unknown. We have to get out of here. Sergei's voice, hoarse and choked with grief, broke the spell. Panic seized us. We threw our things into the kayaks, our movements clumsy and desperate. We pushed off into the current, not caring where the river took us, as long as it was away from that cursed place. The moon, a malevolent eye in the sky, was our only guide as we fled through the night. Every rustle of leaves, every splash of water, sounded like the creature returning for us. We didn't speak, our faces pale and drawn, our eyes wide with terror. The image of Grom, brave and loyal, sacrificing himself to buy us time, was seared into our minds. Section 9. Scars and Whispers. We emerged from the forest as dawn broke, exhausted, traumatized, forever changed. The authorities, skeptical at first, found evidence of our encounter. Strange tracks, torn earth, and the unmistakable scent of something ancient and predatory. They called it a bear attack. But we knew the truth. The legend of the moonlit gorge was real. We returned to the city, but the wilderness had left its mark on us. The carefree joy we once shared was gone, replaced by a shared trauma and a lingering fear. We carry the scars, both physical and emotional, of that night. And we know, in the deepest recesses of our hearts, that some legends are best left undisturbed. For the wilderness holds secrets best left hidden, and some creatures, born of shadow and moonlight, are best left undisturbed.